CISO Choice Awards Vendor Recognition with Richard Stiennon.
I am Richard Stiennon. I'm one of the judges on the CISO Choice Awards, and I'm speaking with David Ratner, who is CEO of HYAS, one of the winners of the CISO Choice Awards. Welcome, David.
Thank you, Richard. It's always a privilege to be able to talk to you, and it's a true honor to win one of the awards. So thank you very much for that recognition.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work on the part of your team to submit. And of course, you've got to have a product that appeals to the CISOs that are on the judging panel. Why don't you introduce the audience here to HYAS, what you do, what makes you special?
Yeah, look, obviously there's a lot of cybersecurity companies out there, and HYAS wanted to look at the problem space in a different way. The first step in any attack, regardless of how a bad actor broke in, whether it was a supply chain attack or insider risk or phishing or what have you, is beaconing out for instructions. They beacon out to adversary infrastructure, commonly referred to as command and control. And so HYAS said, why don't we focus on the infrastructure side of the equation, because that has to be set up in advance of the attack. And if you can see the buildup of adversary infrastructure before the attack is even launched, you can do some really interesting things. And so HYAS built today the world's leading adversary infrastructure platform, which we use to power both threat intelligence as well as, provably independently tested, best-in-class protective DNS solutions.
Awesome. So in practice, how does an enterprise, who's your customer, actually use that? Is it delivered as a feed and then they have to tie it into something else?
So everything we do is SaaS and everything we do is API forward. And so it can be used as a standalone program, or it can be API integrated directly into your SIEM, into your SOAR, into your SOC, into your firewall, into your EDR, wherever you want that to go. And so on the threat intelligence side, what's super unique is not just the data that we provide, but the ability that we give our clients to move from purely reactive, what happened in the past, to proactive, what are these bad actors going to do next? And that's super interesting because threat intelligence itself, knowing what happened is good. Knowing what's going to happen next is a lot better. And we use all that same intelligence to do the same thing automatically through our protective DNS solutions.
Cool. I think we learn a lot from any observations you have about your customers, because if you think about what you just said, your customers probably represent the top 1% of organizations that are actively trying to defend themselves. What have you noticed about their operations, how they use data, just how their day-to-day differs from your typical victim of a ransomware attack?
Yeah, we have clients all over the world today, and some very large, some of the Fortune 5, for instance, and some very small. In general, what we see is that our clients, regardless of whether they're using it for threat purposes, for fraud investigations, or just for general protection, they're realizing that the world has shifted. They're realizing that the idea of trying to keep all the bad actors out of your four walls is not the reality today. And they're struggling with, how do I deal with the onslaught of constant barrage of attacks, right? Protective DNS can be that last line of defense, if you will. Something got through every single other element of your security stack. It's now beaconing out. But that's what gives our clients the operational resilience, the business continuity, the way to shut that down before it really gets started. And when I talk to CISOs around the world, certainly at our clients, they're telling me, hey, look, what I used to worry about the most was what's happening on my network that I don't know about. And that's what HYAS really gives them, is that confidence to move their business forward, whether it's on the protective DNS side or whether they're getting proactive with threat intelligence and understanding what are these bad adversaries that are attacking me, what are they going to go do next, and how do I get prepared for that?
Awesome. So when you're looking at the infrastructure, as you called it, basically the bad guys are setting it up before they launch an attack, and in particular, business email compromise, so-called BEC, needs that, right? They modify URL so it looks like it's coming from someone. Absolutely. And it might even have a web page. Do you have partners in the email security space that use your data so that people could benefit from HYAS by working with one of the email security vendors?
So we have a variety of partners in place. In fact, in 2023, we actually launched our partner program. And our partner program includes a variety of go-to-market partners across the ecosystem. And we also separately have a set of technology partners as well. And so we've done integrations up and down the stack in a variety of different ways to accomplish a couple of different things. One, make it very easy for our clients to consume and utilize HYAS products so that they can utilize that without having to change their architecture, without having to learn new tools, have it flow however they want their data to flow. And two is to be able to make it really easy to do business with HYAS and make sure that they can procure that in any way possible. There's lots of other different applications for this kind of technology, whether it's email, or we could talk about anti-spam, or we could talk about a variety of other kinds of aspects. And it's all wrapped in the use case of what the power of knowing adversary infrastructure can actually give you. And that's why we built a broad API to allow a variety of technology and go-to-market partners to utilize that.
Awesome. So I'm convinced, and a listener may be convinced. How do they get started with HYAS? How do they figure out if there's a match?
Yeah, so first off, reach out to us on our website. It's www.hyas.com, right? Or reach out directly to me on LinkedIn and let's have a conversation. Many of our clients start with one product in the arsenal and bring in the adversary infrastructure platform for a very specific use case, and then over time expand from that. And some of our clients actually start with a complete bundle and sit there and say, this is the problem space I want to handle, and how are we going to go address that?
This is fantastic. Thank you so much, David.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time, Richard.
Stay tuned for more from CISOs Connect.